Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've spent a lot of time looking for content on YouTube that shows you how to easily install a door into a shipping container, and well, when I looked several years ago, there was basically nothing. I looked recently and the only thing that was really on there was just installing like a pre-framed kind of prefab door, for lack of the correct terms. I got this old door from my in-laws. It was a garage door. So I wanted to make a video just showing how I'm installing this door onto the shipping container. Couple of things to say before you spend a whole bunch of time on this video. I'm not going to tell you that this is the exact right way to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. So if you have an old junky door that you're wanting to install as just a man door into your shipping container so you don't have to mess with the big heavy doors on the front of the shipping container. Yeah, I'm gonna get started and hopefully have a decent product here at the end. What I'm gonna frame this out with is some 1/4 inch angle. So I got I think it's 2 by 2. I better measure that real quick. Yep, it's a 2 by 2 by 1/4 inch. Well, and this is only a not even 2-inch thick door. I think it should work, and that's ultimately why I got it. I obviously want to spend as little as possible on the material, but so it's 1/4 inch thick, so it's going to have to be a 1/4 inch taller than the door and a 1/4 inch wider than the door on each side, plus the thickness of my hinges here. So I'm going to try and get it pretty close to exact. I want it to be not everything to be nice and flush, but I'm okay if there's a little bit of a gap. So I think I might go like 1/8 inch thicker, just so I don't have to go and grind out a bunch more on both sides of the door. So not 1/8 inch on both sides of the door, but just 1/8 inch overall. So what I want to do is 1/4 inch, the width of the door, 1/4 inch, plus like an 1/8 inch for error and whatever mistakes happen. And I probably spent a half hour prepping for this. I'm not very fast, but I saw in another video to use tape, and I thought that was a good idea because I was really struggling to know how I was going to get really good straight lines, and they're still not perfect. I keep readjusting the tape. I've readjusted it 5 times trying to get it as straight as I can, and I'm still a little bit in here on the center, and I keep trying to pull it over, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cut, and if I have to, you know, cut a little bit more out here and there, then I guess I'll have to do that. We're right on the measurement. It's 32.5 for this door to have all the spacing that I need across and at the bottom. Yeah, so I think that this is probably the way that makes the most sense. Also, kind of the ribs in this makes it difficult to just run something across the straight edge with like a marker at the top or whatever. So I think it makes the most sense to use it, and it's probably easier than trying to get a straight edge and draw these perfectly straight lines across these ribs. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time filming this because I figured it could be explained pretty quick. I just went the height of my door. You know, I don't know what yours is going to be if you're looking at doing something like this, you know, something that's not pre-hung. And I just cut a 45-degree up here with this angle iron, and I cut a 45-degree here, and then I just tack these into place before I, you know, go full on welding it. It's all going to be tacked into place just to make sure everything fits and the door fits. And it's a little bit tight. I'm going to try and get it all the way mounted before I fully weld everything, because I might have to trim just a little bit out of this side. So in doing this, what I could recommend is just go a 1/2 inch wider than the door is going to be when cutting out the the opening in the shipping container. And then you can use your angle iron to adjust to make a really nice fit for the door. I think that that would make more sense than trying to cut it so exact because it's so hard to do. But the door does fit in here. I need to tack this top part up, and then I think I'm ready to actually start attaching the door, and then I'll get the little hole drilled here on the side for the little latch on the door. If you're gonna be doing this the way that I'm doing it, you will have gaps in the door, and all that will really be holding that door on there, at least unless you put some sort of backing plate here, all it's going to be holding it there is the latch, which is fine, because what I really need to do is keep people out of this area rather than out of here. Let's get to tacking this up, because like I said, I don't want anything to be too permanent before I make sure that it all fits. Where I'm at now is just getting everything fully welded. Then I'll just kind of demonstrate the door real quick. We'll drill the hole for the latch here, and this project will be done. I apologize ahead of time. This is going to be some shaky footage because there's no anti-shake on this camera. But there's the door closed. So, like I said, 45-degree angles up there. Just welded them up. And then welded the hinges. They're original on the door here on the sides. And just framed it in. And then right here, I'm going to drill a hole using my Evolution mag drill there on the ground. And I'm just going to get a hole drilled in there, and that way the door can latch. All right, well, that should do it. This project is done. Question if it was worth the time and the money, but I had an extra door. I did have to buy the angle. It was like 80 bucks. And somebody who's watching this video for any other reason than wanting to put a door in themselves might be like, why? You got a door right there. And I guess the answer is it's a lot easier to open this up and walk on in than to undo the big latches, pull the doors open. They're really heavy, just kind of cumbersome. It's nice that it's there so I can use them for big stuff. But just for a little man door to just walk in and out of constantly, this is going to be way nicer. So hopefully this was helpful. I know it wasn't super detailed. Hopefully it gives you an idea of how to install one yourself. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video.